Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Formula Fun podcast and the wrap up for the race review from the 2018 Austrian Grand Prix. I am joined, as always, by Rage. How are you doing this week, buddy?
Absolutely fabulous.
No good. Did you pick up a stutter during the week since the last one? We're quite spoiled at the moment, aren't we? I mean, 2 down in a triple header. I'm not sure, but I don't know if that's ever happened in Formula One before. It's been good. It's been rapid fire action, and it was a pretty good race, wasn't it? Austria is always a good race, but it was better than previous years, I feel, even, and a much needed sort of little spell of excitement. This one,
definitely a change of pace.
Yeah, everybody seemed to be able to follow better, and overtaking was much more prominent, and of course we had quite a bit of drama as well, which we'll get onto. So yeah, Austria is one of my favourite tracks, and it proved to be one of the better races as well, which was good. So we will start as we always do with practice.
Some go round.
Some went round, some didn't. Some went faster than others. Some didn't go round at all. Yeah, utterly dominant from Mercedes right up until final practice, where Vettel managed to get just ahead of them. But it was looking like quite a bit of a bigger gap between Red Bull and the front three after practice. Oh, how we were wrong. But yeah, I don't think there was too many stories from practice.
Some people were a little bit experimental with runoff areas.
Yeah, that's always the case at Austria. That's the problem, isn't it? You've got such a short lap at Austria that you try and wring every single little bit out of it. And with these little sleeper curbs, it was doing quite a lot of damage to quite a lot of cars.
There was some wing craziness with McLaren. They brought their paper wings with them.
I heard they lost. Well, they run incredibly close to the ground at the front, which makes it dangerous anyway at any track. But yeah, very much so here. I think they lost 4 or 5 or something in practice, then another one in qualifying. So yeah, not the best weekend for them in terms of front wing stock. But
The Carbon guys were going full tilt.
they were. It wouldn't have surprised me if they had to ship some out overnight.
They did
overnight
on
parts.
the race.
Yeah.
Overnight plant parts from Woking. They did on the Sunday morning. They shipped some over.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, burning the midnight oil of those Carbon boys
Oh yes.
to make those front wings. I would have just made a completely different front wing and just see how it went. Now
give
we
it a
stick,
crack,
stick that bit there, that bit there. That's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah.
The front wings.
Put one in there, couple in there, mate.
It's just like Lego. You get given all the bits and you make it however you like.
Exactly.
Just
Throw
so
it together.
Yeah, mate. So on to qualifying them.
Yep.
And I know we've only improved a little bit this year, but I'm still staggered by the times this year around Austria. Considering at the beginning of the era, the hybrid era, I think we were in like the 106, 107s. They are just so fast now. It's ridiculous around this track. If a track ends up under a minute, does it automatically get taken off the calendar?
I don't know why.
It just feels like it'd be far too short for Formula One if any of the lap times got under a minute.
It's getting there though.
It's very close. I think this is the closest of the year, followed by Canada and Monaco. But yeah, some really quick times. Marcus Ericsson then the first to be dropped out of Q1.
Surprise.
My leaderboard is a bit off on BBC. What about yours?
Why?
What have you got for Q2?
Oh.
I've got a lot of missing times in Q2.
There must have been some missing times. Beeb didn't do their job. Never mind.
No, mate, Stroll was just so bad that no one else had to run. still putting behind a lot of them.
No, it's the same as what I have.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. Anyway,
There's a few missing times.
few missing times from Q2. Never mind. So Exxon P20, Brendan Hartley P19, a pretty dismal weekend for him. On a weekend that he really needed to start showing something yet again, under pressure, losing that seat. Williams a little bit improved this weekend, but obviously still pretty terrible by what they would hope to be. But definitely some improvements. Sorokin in 18th, Perez an absolute shocker in 17th.
Yeah, well, he just didn't. He didn't get out in time. He said, "Oh, the traffic."
Yeah, because that was his only lap, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I hate that excuse. Oh, we hit traffic. What about the other 5 laps, Sergio? Yeah, just didn't get it together for whatever reason. Force India. Stoff Van Dorn P16 in the McLaren. Another dismal weekend for them, unfortunately. Lance Stroll was actually the best of that improved Williams, getting through to Q2 for what must be the first time in many races, I would have thought.
The best of the Willies.
The best of the dreadful Willies. Fernando Alonso only 14th, yet again really struggling in that McLaren. On a track they weren't quite well at last year, so again disappointing for them, and just compels how much worse they're getting. Charles Leclerc, another great time, put him 13th on the grid. Gasly 12th and Ocon 11th. Again, pretty good performance from Gasly considering that car. He's doing the biz. It's going to be interesting to see next year how Red Bull and Toro Rosso do with that Honda engine. I think now you bring Red Bull on board. I feel it could be another one of those cases of Toro Rosso benefiting even more if Honda really get their act together for them.
Well, Red Bull will be putting that pressure on, but I think Red Bull have got the facilities to develop that engine much more so than McLaren did.
Yeah, I think they're going to be better at integrating it, and it's definitely. I think there is no doubt that Red Bull is the best chassis on the grid. I can't see them losing that next year, so it's going to be a real test of where Honda's performance are, and if they can push it far enough, Toro Rosso could benefit as well, quite well. But still, just chipping away and on the fringe of the top 10. Both Renaults into the top 10, 9th and 10th. Sort of average weekend for them. Carlos Sainz once again getting the better of Nico Hülkenberg. Kevin Magnussen in the Haas. And then, surprisingly, Ricciardo and Vettel are 6th and 7th. Not great showing from those two.
Nope.
Vettel was 3rd, wasn't he? He got demoted.
Yes.
Can you remember what he got demoted for?
Impeding Carlos.
Oh, was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a penalty.
I tuned into the race very late, and I was like, "Why is he 6th?" Never really found out.
Only the baddies.
Only the baddies cans. And Roman Grosjean, I will say it now, my undoubted star of qualifying. I mean, how did he do that in a Haas?
And I just don't know where he gets these random, really good days and really bad days. It's just really kind of out of character for Roman.
Yeah, he seems a very temperamental driver, similar to Lewis, in the way that he has to be comfortable with absolutely everything for the weekend.
But saying that, it was only 2 tenths faster than K-Mag, so...
Yeah, but then again, K-Mag was 7 tenths ahead of the Renaults.
Yeah.
So there's a big jump from Haas this weekend for whatever reason. The track really suiting them. So they got to be happy with that. Absolutely. Max Verstappen P4 couldn't get any closer to Raikkonen and the Mercedes than that. Red Bull, I guess it is a power circuit, isn't it? Austria, with such a short lap, when so much of that short lap, 3 straights, is long straights. Then I guess they do suffer with that. Kimi Raikkonen was out qualified by Vettel. Vettel obviously only put behind him because of the penalty, and not the best showing from him yet again in qualifying. Looks like he is going to be on his way out of that team next year. And Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas, closest they've been all season, I feel.
Well, they pretty much put in the same time, didn't they?
Yeah, it was pretty bloody close. Just 1/hundredth of a second. Sorry.
1,000th. Oh no, 100.
100th. Yeah, I almost got that wrong as well. Great lap from Valtteri. He really does love this track.
He got the banker in first, didn't he?
That's it. Yeah, Lewis had a shocking first lap, wasn't he? He was like 3/4 of a second down on Bottas. And as we know, that always counts, that banker, because they're under that little bit more pressure, the driver that didn't get it in. But they still both improved right at the end, and Bottas still came out on top. So great lap from the Finn. Just a shame what was to come. Before we go on to the race, just maybe just a quick word about Raikkonen and a few things that happened during the break. I mean, he obviously is almost certainly going to make way for Leclerc.
Yep.
Which I think is it's a great move, but I still feel it's a brave move from Ferrari. Put a young driver in for quite a while, and on the off chance he really doesn't hit home and really start bringing good results early, it could be pretty bad for the championship. But I feel it's nice to see Ferrari making that risk for a change, because they're not a team that generally does it.
Yeah, I think it's good that they believing in their young driver program and putting that person through. They obviously know he's someone to be messed with in the future. You know, he's definitely one of the future stars. So yeah, get him in the car early, see how he goes, and ruin his career if it doesn't go well.
Exactly. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, nothing's wrong with that, is it, Jolyon?
No. Well, Jolyon was a bit different, wasn't he? He had a midfield car and he was like 27. And he should have known better. But I feel these drivers have to be put in young now. A lot has changed because of Max Verstappen. And I think it's a good call from them. And it's going to be interesting to see. Raikkonen rumoured to be going to McLaren as well.
I don't get this. Why? I
don't know whether it's for this sponsorship thing. I mean, McLaren, if Alonso hadn't been in that team the last couple of years, I don't think they would have been talked about hardly at all.
It's like the graveyard.
Doing badly,
isn't it? It's like they took JB, then they took Alonso. Whoever next signs with them, it's just like, oh,
you will not take our Kimi.
Here lies the end of Kimi Raikkonen. Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso. Will you scratch your name on your corpse?
McLaren, where good men come to die.
Literally.
Yeah, it would be a very, very strange move if they do. I can kind of understand it for having that one headline driver in there. And you never know, it could be a one last roll of the dice for Kimi. He's certainly not going to be a number 2 there.
Yes.
So we'll see. It's unlikely at this point, I still feel. But it'd be interesting to see if he does end up there. And if he does, is it going to be Norris and him and Van Dorn out of the way? Because that would be
Van Dorn's gone.
You feel?
Hands down. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's look at the standings.
Yeah.
We're halfway through the season right now.
Well, should we go into the race first?
Well, no. Let's have a look at the standings. Van Dorn. How many points has he got, Jamie?
We're going to look at
how many points has he got,
We're going to look
Jamie?
at the standings after the race. Anyway.
No. I want to touch on this. 8. Do you remember you saying this before, Jamie? Maybe about 3-4 races ago? Fucking 8.
Yeah.
How many points has he got now, Jamie?
8.
How many has Fernando Alonso got? More than 8. Not 8. Stoffel is not long for that car. In comes Norris. Anyway, carry on. What happened in the race?
I think you'd be right. To be fair.
Ace. Dennis.
Jake. Dennis. I'm going to be coughing a lot
Dennis.
today, by the way. My voice isn't too good.
Oh, okay.
Just a forewarning, and can't be.
Jake, cough.
I'm not going to go
Dennis.
through and edit them out. You just have to deal with them.
Jake fucking cough,
Jake
Dennis.
Fucking Dennis, mate.
It's all fine, mate.
He's a choker.
He's only dying. It's all fine.
It's all fine. No, I feel Alonso's not really a fair yardstick for any young driver. because
No.
you're going to have to do incredibly well to get anywhere near him. Within a couple of seasons, you're going to need quite a while to get on his level, I feel. Even Fernando Alonso, at the age that Van Dorn was, would be no match for Fernando Alonso. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's just those drivers like Vettel and Hamilton and
Jake Dennis.
Alonso and Jake fucking Dennis, mate. He's a superstar. I mean, Hamilton and Vettel aren't on anywhere near a level with Jake Dennis, who is going to be in that car next year. Right, yeah, let's go on to the race then.
Okay.
So, it was a very interesting start. It was an okay start from Bottas. A better one.
Happened last year.
Yeah, he probably was a little bit cautious, wasn't he, after his
Jump
super
start.
start last. It wasn't though. They have a measure for jump starts. It's not.
Was it like 0.03 or something like that?
Yeah, and the leeway is like 0.029 or. It was
I know, but
it was so close, but it was
ridiculous.
within the leeway.
Your normal reactions are like 0.1 or something. It was like 0.03. It was like ridiculous. Like he thought, right, it's going to go now. Oh, it has.
Yeah. There is what people said about that was right, that you have to have such a level of anticipation that he must have reacted before the lights.
Yes, but anyway, it doesn't
for
matter.
it to react. No. Yes, not as good a start this year. An okay one from Hamilton, but a blinder from Kimi Raikkonen.
Yes.
Sticking himself down the inside. Oh, sorry, I'm just watching the football. Neymar's rolling about all over the place. Okay.
Neymar's not even playing anymore.
Is he not?
No.
Oh, that's from Brazil earlier.
Oh, yeah.
They're just showing him like
Rolling
some
around.
kind of drama piece. Yeah.
He literally, just going completely off topic.
Yeah,
he
well,
is
we do it.
the worst diver this whole fucking... Him and Suarez have been awful. They've been awful. Any opportunity. It's
I haven't
just...
seen it so much Suarez. I have seen it quite a bit from Neymar.
Suarez, when he was playing against Portugal, was awful. He got tapped in the back and went down holding his head. It's like, mate, come on. Like, with the cameras we've got now, we know that you're faking it. And with all the technology, look, it's better just to get up, dust yourself off and carry on. I know they do it for the foul and stuff now, but, so the ref sees them and...
Well, the thing is, that's the thing I thought would be addressed with VAR, and it's still not being addressed with VAR. It's only like the really major decisions that get put into them. It's the little things that they still get away with, which is a bit sucky.
Have you seen the meme of him rolling around everywhere?
No.
It's almost a meme of him. I can't remember who they were playing. It might have been like either Serbia or something like that. I don't know what team it was. And he got fouled. Got fouled and did some really long kind of roll. Like, when they go like they decide to roll a little bit longer than they can actually naturally have rolled. Like they've come to a stop. The momentum's gone. And they thought they'd add in a couple more rolls just for a bit of lulls.
Yeah.
It's going all around social media of him just rolling on against different backgrounds. Like, there's a spider rolling him up in a web. It's really funny stuff. I'll try and find it.
There's been some great memes as well.
It is really funny. Just Google Neymar roll Russia 2018 and you'll find it. But anyway, back to F1.
I will do. My favourite is the Belgian Bastishu against England. Just boots the ball against the post and hits him in the head.
That is really quite funny.
It's perfect. Yeah, right. World Cup over. It might be for us tomorrow.
No, it's not, mate. You'll be absolutely fine. Don't you worry about it.
We'll see. So yeah, Bottas dropped back behind Raikkonen. Raikkonen tried to have a go on Lewis, but couldn't quite manage it. Vettel had a shocker start. Actually, lost I think 3 or 4 places by turn 3. And was down to sort of 7th or 8th, or lost a couple of places. He definitely didn't make up any. Romain Grosjean had a great start and was up to 4th, I think. And Verstappen just behind him. And then Bottas came back very strongly round the outside, back up into P2. That's how it stayed. Really aggressive from Raikkonen. Was good to see. The Ferraris have made some cracking starts lately. They just don't have anywhere to go with them. I'm just waiting for a Ferrari to jump through the field and actually lead into turn 1, but it hasn't happened yet.
I guess it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, when you generally have those one or two teams each year, don't you, that have those blinding starts all year when they really nail everything.
He had to back out of it, though, didn't he? Oh,
Yeah,
right.
we just couldn't find a way through. He tried to go on the outside of Hamilton, couldn't, and then Bottas obviously ran wide and tried to close off the gap, but couldn't. I think Verstappen actually got round, didn't he?
Verstappen? No. He.
Oh no, he passed Kimi later on.
Yeah, no. So they went into turn 1. Kimi had to back out of it. Someone went wide slightly. Maybe Kimi even went wide. But it was a
Kimi
battle,
went very wide, yeah, in turn 1.
battle down into turn 3. Technically, it's turn 3 because turn 2 is the gay little bend. And then again, Kimi went wide, and then Bottas overtook him going into turn 4. And that's where it stayed. And I think then Verstappen overtook him going into turn 7 or 8. On the same lap, he lost a good couple of places. And that's how the top stayed for a little while. Because I think he got tapped in the rear, didn't he?
Yeah, Bottas went round the outside of, I think, both Verstappen and Raikkonen into turn 4.
Turn 4, yeah.
Which was a really aggressive move and something that we haven't seen from Bottas for a while, but it really needed at that stage of the race. That was pretty much how it stayed. It was all pretty well behaved at the back. Verstappen also started in the pits, of course.
Did he?
He did, yeah.
Ooh.
He
Why?
changed something, I think.
Oh.
Not sure. I don't know.
Oh my god, Japan have just scored!
Oh, I'm behind you.
I'm sorry.
That's alright. I think it's about to happen now. They have.
Oh, that defending was awful from Belgium. Oh, sorry, this is going to be really out of context.
Live football.
Live football in the middle of the
On Formula
podcast.
Fun podcast.
Japan have just gone ahead in the last
They're
16
going
knockout stage.
mental.
The Japanese have pulled out all of the sushi rolls tonight.
Oh, Courtois. Oh, Courtois.
That pass! The defender, what was he thinking? It was. I guess he couldn't get to it, but that was awful. Watch the replay.
Oh. He's been paid off, mate.
He didn't even go to tackle the defender. He should have been fucking studs up, fucking double-footed slide the cunt. At least, sorry, you might have to leave that.
Definitely not going in now. Oh, now I have to edit this. Fuck's sake.
It would have been better to at least give away the penalty in that case. At least he's got a chance to save it.
You think
Sorry.
so, wouldn't you? It's like the
We'll have to put in a little bleep for that little bit. Sorry.
it's like the Denmark defender last night. That,
Yes. Perfect.
just knew he had to, and actually he didn't even get a red card because he actually got so close to the ball. But you just have to do it
Yeah.
in those situations because to be fair, that one pretty wide.
Oh my god!
I am behind you. I presume Belgium have just scored. Hazard. Oh, he's hit the post.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Anyway, we
football,
can't
football,
watch football.
Kick in the ball. Football.
All the football, all the time.
Oh, this game's got really good now.
I know, and now we're doing a podcast. And never mind, we have to turn it off and carry on. Right, what happened? Where were we?
I'm not turning it off, mate.
Where were
Still
we?
in the background.
We need to gain traction back into what we were saying.
Oh, I don't know. Let's start with Bottas. That was the first real. Actually, no. Let's start with Nico Hülkenberg's fire. That was
Well,
cool.
it's all fine, mate.
It's all
A little bit of fire. Carry it on to the runoff area, mate. It's all fine. Just burning up. It's all
Bit
fine.
of fire.
It was actually, it's an all fine in the race. And later on with, I think it was Hartley. So, it's all fine, mate. It's all fine. We're not all fine!
Yep.
Anyway.
They've been watching.
Yeah. The Toro Rosso boys have been watching. It's all fine,
Yeah,
mate. It's all
mate.
fine. Brendan Hartley comes over almost.
I swear, since
it's
we
all
started,
fine.
since we've started doing that, I've heard it everywhere.
I know you do hear it. Day to
Anyone saying it's fine is just immediately Mitchell Webb.
day.
Yeah, so unlucky for Hülkenberg.
What was it? Was it a turbo
fire.
letting go? I would have thought it was a turbo letting go. It looked very
It
turbo-esque.
was a fire.
Was it just a general fire? Oh no, it was. Was it an exhaust problem?
It was a fire. It's the fire that knackered it.
Didn't burn him. I think it was. They had an exhaust gas leak.
Well, the exhaust problem was Ricardo. I don't know if Hulkenberg was as well.
Someone else had an exhaust gas leak as well. Maybe it's in practice.
Verstappen had one in practice.
Yeah, so some dodgy exhausts on the
Yeah, they've been
the
electronics packaged too close to it or something, burning stuff out.
Yeah.
With the fire. The fire was the main problem.
It's all fine, mate.
It was all fine until it set on fire.
It's only fire, mate.
Fire that knackered it.
It's just oh my goodness gracious! This Japanese squad is linking passes together.
I'm glad we didn't have to play them.
Yes.
Really glad. To be fair, I think Columbia are going to be just as difficult.
I know.
I really do. Right, I don't want
to. No more football. It's football all the time.
At the end of the day, apart from one tiny bit, I'm not going to be editing this, so let's try and keep it to a minimum.
What the hell have these?
Oh, they just scored again! What the fuck?
What was that from out of nowhere? Oh my goodness!
Oh,
Japan
Belgium are going home.
Again. Belgium are going home. What an upset! It's only 51 minutes. Anything can happen.
Plenty to go yet. God, this podcast is going to be ruined.
Damn you, FIFA!
Why are we doing it today? Because the England match is on tomorrow. What do we do during this one? Watch Japan, Belgium. Watch Japan play Belgium, and it's brilliant.
It is absolutely brilliant.
Sorry to any Belgians watching, but you're going home. Then the second retirement of a mucho retirement race. That's the phrase. Valtteri Bottas letting go at turn 4.
Gearbox issue, wasn't it?
I hear both of them were pressure issues.
Oh, I know Lewis was a pressure issue. Fuel pressure.
There's some kind of I mean, it's all pressure, really. Every fault has a pressure. There's a leak.
That's pressure, mate. It's a pressure
Spark
fault.
Plug went.
Yeah. The old Ferrari spark plug. Dodgy spark plug,
You don't get too many, it went bang. It's always something happened, then it went bang. Yeah.
Little bit of a worry.
Gutted for
seeing
him.
this is a revised engine package they've got at the moment, and we've had double retirement. First double retirement since 1955.
Indeed, due to mechanical failures.
No, yeah, of course, yeah, mechanical retirement.
Yeah, because
Spain, yeah.
I think Steve Jones said it in the after show and on Channel 4, and very quickly someone obviously told him in his ear, no, it's mechanical.
Only mechanical.
It's me and probably another million people went to Spain. Because we all anoraks like that. Oh, I think you're fine. It
was actually Spain.
Did you mean mechanical failures? Yes, it was a terrible race for them, really. But we'll get to the second one later. Let's concentrate on Bottas. Gutting for him. He's really not having the luck this season. Pole here, did everything right. Was super aggressive to get back past Raikkonen and Verstappen in the opening lap, and he was keeping Hamilton honest, and you never know where it might have ended up. But yeah, super bad luck for him. I'm sure he won't be best pleased with that, but look, he's in a Mercedes. He's got probably the best seat in the house, so he can't really complain, I feel. So yeah, difficult for him and a bit of a shame. Then I guess the next big event was the strategy call. So the virtual safety car came out after that. Ironically, it was a Mercedes safety car that caused Hamilton's issues. But yet again, they don't understand it.
I know the strategy call was wrong.
I think their problem. I was trying to work this out. So what happened, basically, if any of you didn't watch the race for some reason, is Hamilton stayed out and everyone else pitted under the virtual safety car. Virtual safety car ended and Hamilton had to make his stop under normal conditions, therefore losing 8 or 9 seconds, which he couldn't recover because he was on older tyres, and the cars behind him were actually going slightly quicker once they came out. But the big issue, I feel why Mercedes keep doing this is because they're first. And I feel there's this kind of weird two-way insecurity about them, that they don't want to pit in case everybody else pits and then they look stupid. In case everybody else doesn't pit and they end up looking stupid.
It was an early call, and it was probably an early call against a lot of strategy. Because probably people were going to eke out those tyres and then pop on some tyres, just after halfway, and run to the end, or maybe just before halfway on the softs. It probably was a really kind of against the grain. They thought, well, if we pit now, we're going to have to pit again. They probably knew that, didn't want to pit them straight away. And by that time, Ferrari's already in. We'd already gone round, and the safety car period had ended. And old James Whatchamacallit came over the thingy and said, "It's my mistake. I made the strategy call. It's my fault, not yours." Which is good that they actually owned up to it this time, rather than just saying, "Sorry, Lewis, you've got a rather large job to do today."
Yeah, it was nice to hear. I've never ever heard that guy come over the radio, so that's how monumentous that call was. I think it's the right call to make. I still feel it's the last. It's not exactly something that Lewis still wants to hear. But it was good of them to say so, and it was a massive mistake. I think we all realised as soon as we saw that everybody was pitting that it was a mistake. I think that's the issue, isn't it? If it's still split strategies, you never know. And then to make matters worse, when Hamilton came out, he just, along with Daniel Ricciardo, just completely ate up their tyres.
Yeah, trying to keep up with the pace, blistering pace, without the downforce, and absolutely smashed into those tyres. I think the only people who didn't smash into the tyres so much was the person making the pace, Verstappen at the front, and Vettel, who slyly dug away and didn't necessarily hurt his tyres as much as the Bulls and the Mercedes did. But they've always been quite kind on the rear tyres, haven't they?
Yeah, Ferraris Red Bulls have always been. Ferrari have been very good this year as well. And all three, Verstappen, Raikkonen and Vettel, just looks after them perfectly. And we had a real race on. It meant that Hamilton came out after he did stop after the virtual safety car, a couple of seconds behind, ahead of Sebastian Vettel, and just behind the battle of Raikkonen and Verstappen at that point. Verstappen managed to get past Raikkonen, which was, in the end, the race-winning call, or race-winning pass. And we finally saw some proper wheel-to-wheel action between Vettel and Hamilton.
Cheeky bit of wheel-to-wheel action.
Yeah, Hamilton almost forcing him off the road, and then Vettel shoving him wide at turn 3 to say, "On your bike, mate, if you think you're going to do that to me."
I'm coming past.
Yeah. It was good, fair, aggressive racing between the two, and good, something I want to see almost every race, those two go head to head. I think we'll have to accept it. It will happen maybe 3 or 4 times in the season. But a telling move from Vettel, and probably just condemned Hamilton to a race of doom after that, wasn't it? I think from leading to then be ahead of your championship leader, the guy chasing you in the championship is okay. But once he then passes you and goes off 2 seconds down the road, then you're really fuming, aren't you?
Yeah.
And before we get to the end of the race and what develops between the front three and a certain Australian's retirement, before Lewis Hamilton's retirement, what did you feel of his radio temperament? Because once again, a lot has been said about it, of course. You've got to be frustrated, haven't you, if you're him? But
look, you've got to think he's leading the race, and now all of a sudden, due to the team's fault, he's now come out in 4th. It's silly because it's something that could have easily been. It's something out of his control, and I think that's what he doesn't like. Because it's part of the race that he had no control of. But on the other side of the coin, he wasn't going to finish anyway. So I guess he didn't know that. But it's a toughie because people will say, "Oh, when's you Hamilton?" But I think anyone who is first, who then comes out in 4th, everyone else who's quicker than him, who comes out in front of him, is going to be a little bit miffed. You know, it's like, what have we done wrong? Again, it's strategy call that's cost us the race. So you know, I think he bit his tongue because I think he could have said more and didn't. At one point, he was like, "I don't want to say what I want to say, but this isn't this. You know, this can't carry on."
Yeah, but then he did proceed to moan for another 10 laps. He said all that and then he didn't shut up. But I mean, at the same time, I feel he's moaned a lot this season unnecessarily, or when it's not really necessary. I feel it was completely justified this time.
So you know, like what he did when in Bahrain and stuff like that.
Yeah, just generally when he's not on the pace and he's complaining about the tyres or different things about the car. And
well, he's come out afterwards and said that Pirelli should have brought the thinner tyres.
Well, of course he's going to say that because every time they've had those, Mercedes have walked away with it. I feel
it's almost they can't control the you know, thicker depth tyre.
It just suits the Ferrari car better. I don't think Mercedes is necessarily bad on it. There were quite a few races at the beginning of the season where they were right up there in pace, but they still had the old tyres. I mean, it's be all and end all, but it's very clear that the thin tyres, Mercedes have a big advantage. You know, it's with the normal tyres, it can still swing between Ferrari and Mercedes, but when the thinner tyres go on, it does seem to make quite a big swing towards Mercedes. So, yeah, I think they're just trying to. Oh, Lukaku, how'd you miss that? Yeah, it's. Of course they're going to say that, but yeah, I think it was justified this time. The moaning. I mean, come on, they've got to learn by now, you'd feel, with these safety car calls. And
it's one too many now. You know, this is the second instant, isn't it, where it's happened?
I think this is 3, isn't it? At least.
Well, China was number 1.
Yeah.
I'll think of the other one then. China and here is all I can think of, top of my head.
I think there was another one. I don't remember it though. I mean, there was another. Anyway, there was definitely another one.
Well, what happened next then? There was a couple of other retirements in the middle of the field, wasn't there? So should we switch over to a little bit of bull territory?
Yeah, so Danny Rick retired, unfortunately.
This was the exhaust leak.
Exhaust leak, yeah. It wasn't running massively strongly at that. Actually, he was. He was running.
He got some fastest times in.
I think he was still holding on to P3, hadn't he? Raikkonen got past him, but he was still
Raikkonen got back on tyres.
Yeah. And then he was up to 3rd. So it's still going for a good result, actually, to be fair. 29th birthday, desperately disappointing in the middle of trying to get a new contract. Yeah, not the weekend he would have wanted, but hey, look, I think he was really sort of diplomatic about it in the interview afterwards, and he was happy for the team considering.
Well, there was some controversy that we didn't go over that happened in qualifying, where apparently they have a race upon race agreement. So
about who goes out first. Yeah.
Who goes out first? Yeah. So I don't know this because it's the first we've actually heard about it. So we don't know if this was reciprocated in the races before, or if Max, gave away every single opportunity, at Paul Ricard. Whether he actually got a going first, we don't know. Max seems to think that he didn't, and it was all Danny that got to go first at Paul Ricard.
Yeah,
so,
I mean it's
a bit weird because I seem to believe I seem to believe Dan over Max. That why should he have to go last every time? But it would be nice to see or nice to know. I guess we wouldn't know, or we probably won't ever find out unless you go back and watch Paul Ricard intently and find out that if you ever got to go out going second, Fox can have a look if he wants to go and have a look. See if it was reciprocated in Paul Ricard. Or
I want a blow-by-blow record of every qualifying session for the last year.
Well, Fox actually go and do it. That's why.
No, don't do it, Fox. Christ,
don't do it, Fox. Jesus, please,
I really
don't do it.
Care that
goes
much.
Half a day. It would be cool to know if that's happened. I'm sure.
No, don't stop saying that because I'm really worried about wasting his time. And then it's like not even mentioning it next time. No, you won't do that.
But anyway, that was brought to the forefront, wasn't it? That whole.
Yeah, I mean the idea is that they actually, it's not just Paul Ricard. They alternate every race. It's not just the last one, but I think the issue here is that it's it's who goes first, but they don't necessarily get close enough to follow. Whereas here, there is a big benefit to following. Certain tracks that it will be actually detrimental to be too close. So I think he was maybe quite rightly worried about or annoyed about the fact that 3 separate runs in Q3, they actually did 3 runs, the Red Bulls this time, to everybody else's 2. He didn't get one single run where he didn't have Max following him.
Yeah.
It was the other way around. I can feel that. I feel it's one of those things that drivers probably take too much into, considering Red Bull's pace. It wasn't really enough to
look. If it was so much for Dan to complain about and make it public, because he did make it public over the radio, saying no, I want a shot at this as well. Then there must have been some kind of issue before at another race. So it would be good to know. Because I'm siding on Dan, because I don't have a favourite between them two, but I seem to think this probably is a thing. But then Max was very very kind of straight when he comes out. I don't know, it has to be discipline. So I guess we'll have to wait and find out more about that. But that, again, it's not like Dan easily gave away, at least in the peasant interviews in Channel 4. He said that, I'm not making a decision to leave Red Bull as things have built up over time or anything. It's like kind of insinuating that they have built up over time. So
yeah, it's the first real sort of disjointedness between Ricciardo and Red Bull that I've seen, or first real anger at the team over what's not really that big a deal.
I think he actually almost without saying it came out and said he was waiting to see what other drivers were doing. So the only other drivers who were out of a drive were Kimi. So pretty much he was waiting for the Ferrari seat, which never came.
Yeah,
he pretty much said it without saying.
There's no smoke without fire as well. I'm sure he did have talks with McLaren. I'm pretty sure that is something that happened.
What do you think that happened as well?
That was reported about a month ago, that they'd made an offer for him, and I'm pretty sure he would have talked to them as well, just because you never know. There can be things that teams show you for the future that can sway those decisions.
Look at our 2020 car, like it's groundbreaking and stuff like this.
Yeah, well, what we've got in the pipeline for certain engines or blah, blah.
Non-disclosures have to be signed, though, I guess.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway, the interesting world of Formula One and talks over coffee in the lovely cafes of Monaco. Yes. Or in the dull buildings of Woking.
Yes.
Milton Keynes.
Or a suburban house of West Sussex.
You never know. Things go down all over the place, mostly in England, or maybe the south of France.
I meant this chat.
Oh, well, hello. Welcome to the Formula Fun podcast, where most of the information is wrong.
You'll be happy to hear the football has calmed down a little bit, so not quite so interesting. No. So yeah, I mean, we have got quite a good bit to talk about this time, to be fair. Getting on. Ricciardo, yep, so it was heartbreaking for him, but
good night, Vienna. Puns.
I mean, great.
Because they drove in Austria.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. I got that one.
And it's an Austrian team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo! It's icy again, Jamie.
Oh, they've got to go. How did that go in?
I know.
Vertonghen. Christ. I must explain, I'm watching online and Ray's watching on TV, which means there's a 15-20 second delay.
I'm watching mine online as well.
Are you?
Yeah. What are you at? 27?
20? Oh, what's the time on the clock?
69:22.
69:20.
Okay.
Only a couple of seconds out. Okay, we must push forward. It has got very spicy now. Next boy out, Lewis Hamilton.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, he was having a torrid race already. A lot of people saying this would just at least distract from the strategy decision. I don't think that would in Lewis's head. It just makes it worse, doesn't it?
He was furious. Let's put it this way.
He really stormed in.
He stormed into the Mercedes garage, marched upstairs. Apparently, I don't know if there is an upstairs. Marched upstairs and apparently, was taking a shit and followed him out afterwards.
all pretty close apart from the taking a shit, by which means I presume you mean Nicky Lauda.
Yes.
But no,
Nicky
yeah,
Lauda
he stormed into
was having a pool. You know, men still have to have a pool, even if we have been in a horrific fire.
Yes, but what's that got to do with it? Anyway.
Did you hear him having an interview after mid-race where he's almost like coughing to death?
Yeah, it's just a cough.
Did you?
He's an old man. Not everything.
They caught him at a really bad
not
stage.
everything has to be related to the fire.
I think who was it? Who caught him? Was it the Indian guy? What's his name?
Karen Chandok.
Chandok caught him just as he was talking about the double DNF.
He was having a bit of a coughing.
He was having a bit of a cough, and at one point, I think Karen was like, "Don't worry, Nicky. It's fine. Nicky, honestly, it's fine. Don't worry."
Karen Chandok is so fucking awkward.
I love him. He's great.
It really pains me how awkward
Really,
he is.
I just think he's really good. Like, I love it when he does his in-technical analysis. Like, Jesus Christ, he's better than the old one we used to have.
Gary Anderson.
Gary Anderson.
Oh my god.
Gary Anderson's massive trousers.
He got better, but the first 3 or 4 races was so bad.
I remember mid-race they were just right, quickly get a word from Gary Anderson down in the pit lane.
Now the thing about
No, he just wasn't there. It was well, no, Gary's not there at the moment.
It was either that or he would go, right, the thing about aero is, and then go off on a minute rant.
Well, Gary, something's happening on track. Lewis is overtaking. Oh, there's a radio message we just missed because you're talking, Gary.
There's this vortex is going over.
It's
Back
so
in the Jordan
dull.
days, did I tell you I was in Jordan? Yes, you did.
Well, there's enough of you, Gary. He's working with Sky now, by the way.
No, he's not.
He is.
I have never seen him on Sky.
Because he's awful.
Well, I mean, he's working. He must be really back end.
Fucking hell, Gary! I've told you, you need to get these letters sent on time. I'm sorry, but I need to tell you about ground effects.
Is he like the 4th special correspondent on the Czech Republic Sky?
Yeah,
I can't imagine him
probably.
in anywhere else.
If anyone knows where Gary Anderson now works, please let us know. We can send him a box with our own feces in.
Please send help and preferably video clips.
I reckon he's chained up to a fence somewhere around the race circuit in Bahrain.
Yeah.
Please feed me. It's Gary Anderson here. Feed me and I'll tell you about how Vortex works.
Here you go, dear. I've made your morning breakfast into an aerodynamically sound meal.
It's not only nutritious, but it's actually rather efficient.
I've covered your toast in a thin resin, which means the air just bounces off smoother.
Whizzes straight over and causes no effect as it leaves the back of your tongue.
Put a gurney flap in your egg.
Alright, that's enough, we got too far. Where were we? Where even were we?
I don't know.
Lewis retiring.
Yeah, Lewis retired. That was the end
I
of that
don't even
one.
know. Oh, fuel pressure problem, yeah.
Oh!
Oh!
It happened
The scenes,
immediately.
Jamie! The scenes here at the Lisnicki. Is it Lisnicki?
No,
I don't know. It could be. The scenes. Oh, it's too all.
I'll give you a bit of sound, viewers.
You can't because of copyright.
There's a little. They can't copyright a crowd. There's a little blast of sound there.
It was Fellaini, the bastard.
He is rather
I
tall.
really don't like Fellaini.
He is quite tall, though.
Oh, anyway.
Did you see the national anthem when they went across the line? And
No, did they have to go up for Fellaini? Or
No, they had to go down for Hazard.
Did they?
The entire team is 6 foot, and Hazard's
Look at
a
that
little miniature guy.
They miss all the Japanese guys afterwards.
No, probably was quite a lot lower. That's just
Casual racism.
That's just a fact, okay?
It's just a fact, all right.
On average.
All right, where are we going? What's happening?
So yeah, we were left with a pretty tasty battle at the front.
We were.
Raikkonen and Vettel closing down Verstappen.
Whether
Verstappen
they
had
could
it
do it
all
or not.
under control, except he didn't.
You said
Another
he
cup.
did.
Well, I think Ferrari's had the quicker car. Maybe even quicker than Mercedes late on because of the tyre life. They'd looked after them really well, and they were quite a bit quicker. I mean, every time you could see the laps where Verstappen tried to fight back, and he was still slower. But he could, yeah, You could argue he managed the gap perfectly, but they did get pretty close. And then all the talk was going to be about whether they would swap positions, Raikkonen and Vettel. And they didn't. I was really surprised and really pleased.
Same. I was pleased. Were you pleased?
Yeah, because I think
was
it's...
shouting. I thought, this is such a useless idea. Why? Why would you throw away 3 points? It literally, if Lewis wins by 3 points, can you imagine the hullabaloo?
Oh yeah, but do you remember us saying that last year? If when Hamilton handed that place back to Bottas after he let him
I know,
through.
but there was a conversation. You know, was there a conversation? You reckon that we didn't get played? If I decided not to play it.
I don't think they did this time. I don't think Ferrari did ask you. I mean, it made sense.
Vettel definitely asked.
Maybe. I think Raikkonen definitely had the chance for the win, and I still feel it's too early.
Do you reckon he said some kind of code word like, is the slipper on the left foot or the right today?
Yeah. Blatantly.
You know, they went, no, he's on the right foot today.
I need to restore my moped.
Hold position. We got none of that, and I wanted some spicy beef going forward.
I did, but at the same time, I do just want to leave them to it because I feel it
Spicy
happens too
memes
often, and I think
to debate
Raikkonen.
about.
I think Raikkonen did a stunning job this weekend in the race.
Oh, he did, yeah, oh, yeah.
So
All
I
things considered,
think he
did a good
absolutely
job.
deserved it.
Oh yeah.
And considering, I think if Hamilton was still scoring 10 or 8 points or something, maybe I think there would have been a much stronger push to do it. I think considering the amount of points they were losing as a team and in the Drivers' Championship, I think it was probably the right thing to do. And it was good for Kimi fans and good for people just to see that he could actually beat. You know, Vettel did start quite a way back, to be fair, but at the same time, still did a good job. And then Max Verstappen was just perfect. Again, takes his chance. Do you know what the weird symmetry is about this race?
No.
What was the last time that both Mercedes retired?
Oh yeah, of course, Spain.
And what
Max
was
won.
the 1, 2, 3?
Was it Max, Raikkonen, and Vettel?
You know, it was. It was.
Wow. Funny that.
It's a weird
It's
symmetry.
probably the only cars that would have been there. The only other one to upset that 1, 2, 3 was Dan Ricciardo. Did Dan Ricciardo also crash?
In Spain?
Yeah. Fox.
I think
Did Dan Ricciardo also crash?
No, he retired in Spain.
Oh, there you go.
I think
It's
he
funny
did.
that.
I think that would be even weirder.
Rinse, recycle, and repeat.
Yeah, I'm going to check this.
We're just going to VAR on a second.
I think he retired because he pulled up on the inside. No, he didn't retire. He was 5th.
Oh dear.
Well,
Bad day in
that's-
the office.
No, that's 2018.
Oh Jesus, spicy.
That's
Memes.
not. Say something interesting.
Well, you know, some would say that if you buy a toaster from Curry's, it's not quite as good as if you buy one from John Lewis because you get an extended warranty with the ones you get from John Lewis. Plus, you can also say, I bought this toaster from John Lewis, and people think that you drive a BMW and you're earning about 70 grand a year because you bought an appliance from John Lewis.
He was
Instead,
4th.
you just... Okay.
He was 4th. Were you just talking about warranties for toasters?
You said just say something.
Interesting.
He retired?
Also, we weren't paid. I told you he was 4th.
Oh.
Also, we didn't get paid. To mention John Lewis or toasters.
How do you know you weren't paid?
Um,
I was paid.
I wasn't paid. You mean how do you know you weren't paid? That sentence doesn't anyway.
How do you know I wasn't paid?
There you go. I don't.
Well, tune in next week for our paycheck from John Lewis. This is where we next talk about our next sponsor, Clash of Clans. Vikings Response app. I love this app. Do you? Don't you hate that when people start YouTube videos and like our word from my sponsor?
Yeah.
And it's normally some kind of really shit mobile game. Like, oh, I really love this mobile game. Do you though? Do you really? Because I don't, and I'm not going to download it. But thank you. Just going to skip ahead when I can see you not talking about this game and continue watching the video.
I buy all my games from discountedkeys.net.
I watch all of my hentai from Crunchyroll.com.
Oh yeah, that's a Very popular one.
That's a bad miss. Anyway, moving on. So Max
I see
won.
one the other. There's quite a few going round for like a like frozen food delivery, like an underpants shop, and it's like, really.
I've seen ones that for a food company that send you the ingredients for the food that you're going
That's
to
the
cook
one I saw.
fresh.
Yeah,
And then there's a menu, there's a list of how you cook it, and then you get the tasty dish afterwards.
and it's
So
six
pretty
times the
much-
cost of a takeaway.
Yeah, you get all of the benefits of all of the nutrition that's on the packet, but you have to put it all together. So it's pretty much like a ready meal, but you have to make it. You pay a subscription; they send you like one meal every 7 years.
Yeah. Our introductory offer for £3.99, and you'll get a meal fit to feed a gerbil.
Pretty much. To be fair, they actually do look quite good. Anyway, let's moving off
Well,
from
yeah, but that's
paid.
probably just like a professional chef made it with completely different ingredients.
Yeah.
Like if I made it, it would be fucking awful.
Okay, Gaston, how do we make this lamb covered with an orange jus, roasted in?
Okay, Gaston.
Yes, that's the chef.
Oh, I thought you were doing like an OK Google type thing.
Oh no!
I was
Did
like,
it not?
who the fuck is
That's the
Gaston?
French version. Okay, Gaston. Give me
Okay,
instructions.
Gaston, how to cook steak?
Okay, Gaston. Can you imagine? Okay, Gaston. How can I help you?
Yeah, pictures of topless women. That's what I thought you meant.
Sorry, it's
Oh,
me, Gaston.
Gaston.
Oh, Gaston, you cheeky little Gaston, you. Okay, Gaston, tell me the route to the nearest Sainsbury's. Well, who needs Sainsbury's when you could go fishing in the Grand Mare? Anyway, moving on.
I have taken the precaution of emptying your bank account. You don't need it. You're
You do not
French.
need money when you have your hard working hands.
You have Gaston.
Enough! Formula One!
We're finished, aren't we?
Oh
Pretty
wait, the
much.
race is finished. Yeah. So what does it go on to the results? So we had a Max finishing in P1, excellent race win, first of 2018, 25 points to the man in orange. Did you see the crowd? His little orange paddock.
Oh, it was like
Orange
30,000 after the weekend, like 18,000 in that single grandstand at turn 10.
My- you could hear them over the cars. That's how much they were shouting.
On that final lap, it was deafening.
Absolute scenes. Can you imagine how many drunk people had to be carried off that racetrack? It must have been great.
Yeah.
Followed up.
No, they're
then
still
by-
there. They're all
They're
asleep.
still there.
They're all asleep on the ball.
It's literally still there. Kimi Räikkönen
Oh!
bring it round in P2. Stop watching the football. I'm reading the fucking scores.
Just
What
hit the
happened?
post.
Kimi Räikkönen coming around in P2, earning him 18 points and robbing Sebastian Vettel of 3 much-needed points that could have really spun round a little bit more of the final standing. Romain Grosjean coming in an earth-shattering 4th place and earning his first 12 points for Haas.
What a weekend for Haas.
Absolutely nuts how
Much
he managed to do
improved.
that.
They were so close to the front guys. Grosjean finally got points, and it all happened on a weekend where 3 of the top 6 retired, which just made it even better for them.
What a surprise. He would have come 12th. Anyway, moving on. 7. Sergio Perez really turned around a shocker, didn't he? Shocking in qualifying to really right his wrongs and get 7th, much needed 6 points.
Yeah,
for the-
really good
for the
race
machine
from
pink.
Force India. Again, it would have been 9th and 10th probably. But still a great recovery from them.
So yeah, 6th and 7th for the boys in pink. I did miss out K-Mags, but it's too busy socking Roman's balls.
You
8th
do that a lot,
was
don't you?
Fernando Alonso. What, suck K-Mags balls? 8th was Fernando Alonso. He did quite well. Mopped up 4 points. Did all right.
Who we took? Alonso, yes.
Alonso mopped up 4 points. Did all right. Some stunning overtakes at the very end of the race. Spicy, that back of the midfield, trying to earn points. Ninth was Charles Leclerc, pipping Marcus Harrison to the post. 2 points for Charles and 1 point for Marcus, respectively.
Yeah, great drive from Alonso, great drive from the Saubers.
It was. Saubers did well.
Double points paying position is...
Robbed the Toro Rosso, the Willies, and the Renault. That's doing pretty well. Pierre Gasly just outside the points, unfortunately, but still, shows up his teammate, even though he did DNF, but still 11th.
He had apparently a ton of damage.
Did he?
On that car, and he apparently did an incredible job to actually even finish 11th. Yeah, so yeah, good result for him considering.
Carlos Sainz probably could have done better in 12th, but
Renault had a really bad weekend.
Bit of a shocker. Yeah. Heading up the Willies there with Sergei Sorokin.
They've now been overtaken, by the way, by Haas. Renault.
Were they? We'll get to that in a minute. Lance Stroll coming in 14th, and then it's the rest of the retirements. Stoffel.
That wasn't true, by the way. I think it's Force India and McLaren, just before anyone shouts at me. Okay.
Dan Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas, and Nico Hülkenberg. Who would have thought it?
Bottas. You just say Valtteri Bottom.
Valtteri Bottom at the bottom of the retirement list.
Oh, Valtteri Bottom out of the lit. Right, sorry.
Nico Hülkenberg rounds up. Anyway,
very good, very good. You've ended it off very professionally and in line there.
Thank you.
I'm proud.
Constructors.
You are struggling a little bit with your words. But
constructing some words that don't exist. Ferrari, apparently in the lead after that show. I did not know that.
They regained the lead of both championships this weekend.
Jesus Christ.
Who would have thought that before the weekend?
Mopped up. Those pit crew must have had an absolute blowout. Literally, the mechanics must have been... That was a heavy Monday morning. Mercedes then suffering massively from their defeat and double retirement of 237. Red Bull pretty much in third. It's going to be untouched. They'll get third. Renault...
They're getting close. Because Mercedes was so far out ahead. It wasn't that far between Ferrari and Red Bull. And now...
A lot needs to go wrong for them to make that gap up.
Potentially, but we've got a lot of races left.
We have.
A lot of races. Go on.
So did Haas and Renault, they haven't swapped yet?
No, so Haas actually went past Force India and McLaren. That's what I meant, this race.
Okay. So Haas, massive jump up into 5th. McLaren down 1 with 44 points. Force India down 1 also. I don't know what happened with Toro Rosso Sauber. I really don't care. And Williams on fantastic. It's that time of the week, Jeremy.
Just one point. Sauber, you say nothing really happened back there. Sauber getting close now to Toro Rosso. If they go past Toro Rosso, that is huge for them.
Do you care, though?
It's huge. I do. I like the Sauber team.
I don't.
I think they're the plucky underdogs. No,
well...
you don't like Marcus Ericsson. Is who you don't like.
No.
It is time for...
Go on. Who's gonna fill that seat when Leclerc goes?
I could see potentially Giovinazzi.
Jake fucking Dennis.
Sorry.
Giovinazzi.
I think maybe Giovinazzi. Yeah. I think maybe Ferrucci.
People, put your comments down below who you think's going to fill that Sauber seat. Because it's going to be a young gunner.
Yeah, Markelov is a shout as well.
Who?
He's been...
he's the guy in the F2 who's storming up at the moment.
Yeah, he took another win this weekend. He's I think third in the championship.
Did he get a triple overtake going into turn 3?
I think so, yeah.
Absolutely. I saw that. I saw the overtake.
Yeah, there's some great racing performance too. We're now 1 and 2 in the championship, by the way. Norris and Russell, except the other way around. Russell took the lead of the championship this weekend, but they are nicely out in front, those two. Doing a great job for Team UK. Right. It must be, finally, that time of the week. It's time for...
Crash of the Week, you bloody bastards!
Okay. What was your... I mean, it wasn't...
Was there any?
I can't think of anything.
I don't think there was any.
Big crash.
Literally, Crash of the Week right now is literally...
Alonso losing his wing.
Did he?
Well, bits of it.
Yeah, the front wing going into like the turn 9 or whatever.
Yeah, there's got to have been a crash.
That is all I can think of. The only other crash is Max Verstappen tapping the back of Raikkonen. in like turn 5 or 6. There was literally no crashes of the week this week. So crash of the week this week is in, I think it's GP. Is it called GP2?
It's
Or is
Formula,
it
it's
F2?
Formula 2 now. They changed it.
Didn't the
last
top
year.
3 take themselves out on one of the races?
I've got to be honest, because I didn't watch Sky this weekend. I haven't watched it.
So Fox will tell us, but I think on one of the races, because I know they do 2 sometimes, the top 3 took themselves out. So that is my crash of the week, sponsored by cream in a can. Sometimes you can get it in a bar, sometimes it comes in a can, sometimes you have to milk it from a goat yourself. We're losing money from the sponsor. They're not paying their wage at the moment. You know, they've been sending us death threats. I even received like one of those bombs, like it's got anthrax in, come through the post saying that they're going to sue us if they carry on using their likeness in our videos. So we're not on good terms at the moment with Cream in a Can. So
my latest shipping as part of the deal of Cream in a Can was actually they didn't send the cans. It was just cream.
Did they not? It's just when you opened up a package, it was just a load of cream.
Postman just opened his bag and it
was just cream.
It was a hose of cream
with a stamp on the top, floating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bubble of cream. It was surrounded by like this very, very, very delicate film. And it was like the postman left it like a bomb, and as soon as I even blinked, it just exploded.
Cream went everywhere.
I was covered in cream.
How did he deliver it to you?
I think he might have
really delicate fingers.
He might have the fingers of a fairy.
Yeah.
He was magical. Magical.
If you know how he delivered it to Jamie, do comment below how you think he delivered it, because we have no idea. And it's getting quite terrible. Anyway, enough of that, because otherwise...
I said it came out the hose first, so it's already worrying enough.
So yeah, the crash of the week then wasn't even a crash, so that was bad.
So fuck you, Cream in a Can.
Yeah, fuck you, until you pay your bills. Fuck you, man. We took you from the bottom and now you're kind of...
Crash of the week was Cream in a Can stock price. Oh!
Okay, so this is, I think, now moving on to the most hotly anticipated segment that's overtaking Crash of the Week, because there haven't been any bloody crashes. It's Beat Jamie.
Let's not call it that. We're not calling it. Are we calling it that? Great.
I didn't say beat off Jamie, did I? Just beat.
Oh, now you did.
All right, so this one is a little bit different.
Okay.
It's not higher or lower. However, it still involves Formula One driving, I'd hope, because if it involved cricketers from the 1970s, I think we probably would have been off.
I'd be all right, I feel.
Do you think?
I feel there's quite a few sports I'd be okay with. It's really, it's a burden, I tell you.
It's a curse.
Liking so many sports.
There's a rather tasty free.
There are some weekends I literally fall asleep watching sport. I watch too much in the weekend.
Honda's taking the free kick.
I ironically play none of it.
Are you watching this?
Yep.
Gonna have to watch what happens here.
VTech! I think that's what he shouts every time.
Oh, what does he say? VTech, did you say? It was a good free kick.
Honda's great. I bought him a few seasons ago in FIFA. He's a bit over the hill now, so I don't buy him anymore.
He's most capped for Japan, I think.
I don't know.
Japanese football facts. Anyway, moving on to Beat Jamie.
I have a limited knowledge of many sports, but not that in depth. Oh yeah, Kazuki Honda, he's got 122 caps.
I think he's the most capped Japanese player. Anyway, moving on. He's got the name Honda, so I know a bit about it. So this one is...
Yep, go on.
How many teams?
Oh! 15 seconds. They've done it.
Oh my god! They're through!
Oh, you
bastards.
sneaky Belgians.
You sneaky Belgians.
They've got away with it. What a match, though. Oh, the crying Japanese.
Daylight robbery. I think that was robbery.
Yeah.
Oh, bless them.
Oh.
They're going home, all the way to Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
All the way to Tokyo. Anyway, so this is called How Many Teams? How many teams?
How many teams?
How many teams? So this is how many teams. Funny enough, we're going to have Jamie's going to have to guess.
Is it?
Jamie's going to have to guess how many teams these drivers have raced for.
Oh, now I know why when you asked me for one driver to add to the list.
So I asked Jamie to contribute to this. I was like, Jamie, you need to say one driver. And the driver he said was Heinz Harold Frentzen. And we're going to start off with Heinz Harold.
Oh, don't start off with...
No, we're starting with it. This is Jamie's call, this one. So, first of all, there's going to be a point awarded for every number of teams got correctly.
Yep, and
then a point
listed
each time
teams.
You get the team.
Okay, so how does this work overall? We got an overall points tally, and if I get over 50% of that, I have beaten Age.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
One, two.
Okay, I feel this could be quite easy then, because I don't necessarily have to get the number right, just have to get a good number of teams.
Yes, so you just have to keep guessing. But any over the amount of teams, you get a point deducted. So if you say one too many, you get a point deducted.
Oh, so I can't just say every team.
No.
Okay. I feel like it should be a point for each team. And
point for each team.
A big bonus for
of 1 point if you get them all right. Yeah.
Oh, 5 extra points if you get them all right.
No, 1 point.
Oh.
So
Okay.
1 for each team that you get, and then 1 for getting it right.
Okay.
Yeah? Makes sense?
It does, yeah. I just feel it's too easy. I don't know.
Well.
No, God, I should have said that.
Well.
Right, come on.
You get 1 point deducted if you say too many teams, or however many teams over. So say this person's only driven for 2 teams, and you say he's driven for 4, you get 2 points deducted because you got 2 wrong, technically.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So all the rules are right. So we're going to start off with Heinz Harold Frentzen, if you will. So how many teams has Heinz Harold Frentzen driven for?
Okay. I'm going to name them first. We're going to do it that way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on then. Yeah.
Jordan, obviously.
Ding! Correct.
Williams.
Ding! Correct.
Sauber.
Ding! Correct. Get to the business end now, mate.
Prost.
Ding! Correct.
That's it. It's got to be 4.
It's not right.
Oh.
You missed out by
more
one.
or less. Oh, more.
Yep.
Who did I miss out?
You missed out Arrows.
Arrows?
Arrows, yeah.
He drove Arrows?
I'm going to deduct a point.
No, you said you deduct a point if I get over the number.
Yeah, it's also going to be under now. I'm going to deduct a point.
For fuck's sake.
There's lots of points to be had. So you got 3 out of a possible
3 out of
5 available.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. You're still winning. All right. You got the most. All right. Moving on then. Massa.
Felipe Massa. Sauber.
Yep. Ding.
Ferrari.
Ding.
Williams.
Ding.
3.
Bonus ding.
Yeah.
Maximum point score.
Ding 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 ding. 4 out of 4.
4 out of 4. 4 out of 4.
Why are they doing a team talk? They are through.
No idea. JB.
Jensen Button.
Yes.
Benetton. Williams.
Oh, blimey. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
Right.
Ding. Ding. Who did you say?
Benetton, Williams, BAR.
Ding.
Honda.
Ding.
Brawn.
Ding.
McLaren. 6.
Ding. How many is that then? 1, 2, 3,
6.
4, 5, 6.
6. Oh yeah. Don't quiz. Don't put Jensen Button into a quiz for goodness sake.
I'm deducting 1 point
Hey.
because you missed out. Renault.
Oh, they were called Renault the second year. 2002. Oh.
Because after he was racing for Benetton, didn't he go to Renault?
No, Benetton became Renault.
There we go. Something happened around that era.
Oh, shit on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of a maximum amount of 7,
I don't care about this stupid quiz. It's all good.
5. You're still winning.
I know.
At the moment, I've not beaten you. Okay.
Okay.
Nico Rosberg.
Nico Rosberg. Williams.
Ding.
Mercedes.
Ding.
That's it, 2.
Maximum 3 points scored.
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah, boy.
Alain Prost.
Alain Prost. Well, obviously McLaren and Williams. Ferrari.
Ding.
Ding. 3. Now, who did he start? Renault.
Ding.
Now, did he have one season with some weird fucking team at the beginning? Or did he come straight in at Renault? No, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna stick with 4.
Maximum 5 points scored.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here's the seat stuff.
Yeah.
Damon Hill.
Damon Hill, Arrows, Jordan, and Williams. 3. Bam.
Ding, ding. That's 1, 2, 3. Deducted a point because you missed out Brabham.
Did he race for Brabham?
Apparently so.
He didn't race for Brabham.
It's on Wikipedia.
He did race for Brabham, obviously. Oh,
So that's 1, 2, 3
can't
minus
spell
1. That's
his
2
name.
points.
Damon
That
Hill.
is your first loss.
Brabham test driver. Oh, he did. He had half a season. 3 races for Brabham.
Oh, it's 3
Oh,
races.
fuck's sake.
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton, McLaren and Mercedes, 2. Bam.
Ding, ding. 3 points. Bang. Easy. Michael Schumacher.
Jordan, Benetton, Ferrari, Mercedes, 4. Bam.
Ding, 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 ding. 5. Out of a maximum 5. Jacques Villeneuve.
Williams,
Yes. Ding.
BAR.
Ding.
Yeah, it's just those 2. 2.
Oh,
I
I'm
missed
taking
something.
that. I'm taking that. You missed lots.
I missed lots.
Williams. Ding. BAR. Ding. Renault. Sauber. BMW. Sauber. So that's 1, 2 with a deduction of 1, 2, 3 and an extra deduction for getting it wrong. So you get 1 point.
Okay, he did drive for Sauber. I don't remember Williams. Sauber.
Renault. And
Renault.
apparently it's Renault, Sauber, and BMW.
Oh, he had
Sauber.
1 race for Renault, didn't he? For fuck's sake.
Mika fucking Hakkinen.
Mika Hakkinen. McLaren.
Ding.
And... Oh, fuck.
It's a really surprising one.
I think I know who it is, but I can't... Is it Leighton House? 2.
Oh. No, it's not.
Oh.
Right, I'm going to give you the point for getting the correct amount. Okay, so he did drive for 2.
Okay.
It's not Leighton House. Okay, so you're going to get 2 anyway out of a maximum 3. It's actually Lotus.
It was Lotus, it was. I knew it was
Very
green.
odd.
I knew it was green.
So there you go.
It's that green 92 or 93
DC.
Lotus. David Coulthard, Williams, McLaren, Red Bull.
Ding, ding, ding.
3, bam.
Maximum 4 points scored. Nigel Mansell. Final question.
Mansell, Ferrari,
Ding,
Williams,
ding,
McLaren.
ding.
I think there is one more. Lotus, 4.
Ding! Fucking ding! 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the bonus 5.
I thought it was Lotus, but I don't remember him and Senna racing in a Lotus, but obviously they did. Not together, but they
So
obviously...
you did actually really fucking well. So you got, I'm going to work this out because I really want to know the figure.
Okay.
Out of a possible 56 points.
I love this section, by the way.
It's a good section.
Great
Out of a
fun.
possible 56 points. I'm just going to take this up. You got 44 right.
44 out of 50.
56.
56. It's not bad. Not bad. I feel I could have done a bit better than that, but that's not bad.
But still, that's pretty damn good.
I'll take that.
Your worst score was Jacques Villeneuve. You lost 3 points.
Yeah, I feel I really got on a roll, and I was
No, you
like,
lost 4 points.
I was like, bam, BAR, Williams next. I didn't think about it at all.
You got a bit too cocky, didn't you?
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
I should have known Sauber. But Renault
not
was.
beaten Jamie for a third week.
Yeah.
So Jamie cannot in turn beat me. And that's enough homoerotica for one day.
Yep. Really ramp it up next week. See if we can.
Get even harder, mate, next time, if you like.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, do, mate. I don't know. Or just make it so tediously long I get disinterested by the end,
So
and then you might win.
with,
Question 712.
Beat Jamie.
How many lorry trucks of tarmac were used to make Monaco?
All right, we'll go obscure.
No, not that. Christ.
We'll
Not
go
that
obscure.
obscure.
Well, that
Right.
that section, and onto the news.
I enjoyed that, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for doing these little
Right.
quizzes and coming up with the idea. It's good fun. Hopefully you'll get a go one week.
So I have one go of the whole season.
Well, no, because that means you win.
Yeah, I know, but then you've got to try and beat me.
No, but I mean, if you had one go, then it would meant that you won against me, and it went back to being me.
I guess.
So, I feel, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, news.
News.
Obviously, there was a bit of news beforehand of, as we've already talked about, Raikkonen potentially going to McLaren, Ricciardo being weeks away from being signed for Red Bull, and Leclerc weeks away from being announced as a Ferrari driver. I think, apart from Raikkonen, I think Leclerc and Ricciardo we expect now, don't we? Be a big shock if not. What have we got? Of course, Jacques Villeneuve, of course he does, says that Charles Leclerc for next season is a mistake. He just says that about bloody everybody.
Dislike that man.
I know. Although he did, I think it was Canada this year, he drove Gilles Villeneuve's Ferrari, his father's Ferrari, round his track on race day, and he was incredibly emotional after being interviewed after that, and that's the first time I've ever seen Jacques Villeneuve properly emotional. It was actually quite a nice moment, but apart from that, he's an absolute arsehole. He is, isn't he?
He is an arsehole.
Really digs into people for no good reason.
Sorry, who are you? You won just once.
And spent years winding people up. He was, I read Jenson Button's book recently, and he, when he was teammates with Jacques Villeneuve, he really was an arsehole, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, he just wouldn't barely talk. Well, apparently he lightened up the second year and sort of cooled down to him, but the first year he was a complete arsehole. He'd just walk past him in the paddock, completely ignore him, not say a word to him.
Probably because JB was beating him.
Yeah, most likely. Well, no, it was apparently after he started beating him that he cooled down to him. Because everyone thought JB was this overrated playboy at that point. Right, Verstappen thinks after his win in Austria he can be a title contender if they get a bit more power in the engine. It's a long shot for him now, isn't it?
No, Verstappen.
I mean, he is only 3 points behind Ricciardo now. I guess they are both within a couple of wins of Vettel, and we've seen the championship swing that much before. Just between like Hamilton and Rosberg over the last couple of years, so it's possible, but yeah, unlikely. Still, it's nice. It really does wrap it up nicely this season. The fact there is only 60 points between first and third in the constructors, and almost the same between first and sixth in the drivers. It could still swing any way in that six. You never know. There's not much else. McLaren's struggling, obviously. Apparently a correlation issue is their biggest issue.
A correlation issue?
Yeah, so correlation is the big problem with F1 teams. If they anything they're putting in the wind tunnel that's saying it's performing doesn't correlate to what it actually does on track. And it's the hardest thing for a Formula 1 team to fix. It can take 8 to 10 months to fix that. So
is the wind tunnels fucking up again?
Yeah, basically. So they either there's something wrong in their processes, or the people they've got analysing it are shit.
Ferrari had this for a while as well, didn't they?
Ferrari have had the problem. Force India have had it occasionally. It's apparently the problem with Williams at the moment. It's a very common thing in Formula One because you rely so heavily on all these parts working in the wind tunnel. If they turn up on the track and don't, you've potentially wasted 6, 8, 10 weeks of work on these single parts that then don't work. And then you've got to fix the correlation issues and then start again on the parts. And if you don't fix the correlation issues, you lose another 10 weeks, blah, blah, blah. It's, the most difficult thing for a Formula 1 team. So, it's just more, again, the processes of McLaren that are the problem. And it's not great news. Apparently the Formula 2 races at the Australian Grand Prix just started behind the safety car.
I heard about this.
Because of quite a lot of stalling this year. Apparently getting off the grid this year in Formula 2 has been a lottery. So, that's interesting. I didn't actually watch any of the Austria races, so I didn't see how that affected the starts, but still, it's a strange thing to be doing. I feel that ruins the fun of a Formula race, not having the that roar of engines as they get off the line. Alright. I think Christian Horner came out and said that Ricciardo at Mercedes or Ferrari would be a number 2 driver. And that's why he should stay at Red Bull. I'm not sure that's the right way to keep your driver. You're not best in the world, Daniel.
Well, sorry, could you say that again?
Apparently, Christian Horner came out and said about Daniel Ricciardo, if he went to Mercedes or Ferrari, he would probably be a number 2 driver. And that's why he should stay with Red Bull. I don't know that that's the way to keep him.
Is that who said that? Horner?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's not a number 2 driver now, then?
No, let's not start this again. I'm sure we'll have plenty more of this in the future if he signs up to another 3 or 4 year contract alongside Verstappen. So let's not start. Haas give their backing to Grosjean after the Austrian Grand Prix. I've heard all kinds of slip ups over the past week of the Austrian Grand Prix. It's either Austin or Australia.
I've seen
Austria.
I've seen lots of people call it the Australian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's quite a tricky name. Oh my god, the football's finished and I've got EastEnders on. Go away.
I know, I just changed
Go
over
away.
at the same time. I was like, oh god.
I never want to see that river again in my life. Hamilton has demanded bulletproof reliability from his Mercedes in the wake of Silver Arrow's double disaster. This is definitely the worst weekend that I can remember for a long time. Not going to lie, we're going to have to work on all areas. We can't afford to throw away points. We need to find a bulletproof method to move forward. Yeah, it's not quite that easy, Lewis, but yeah, they don't want that again, that's for sure. And they've let Ferrari right back into the championship, haven't they, with it? So, and I think I'm struggling. No big news. That's the thing with these triple headers. Everybody just gets their head down and gets on to the next one rather than this media circus whipping up again. Formula 1 season next year will start a little bit earlier, 15th to the 17th of March. Cool. But it's still expected to feature 21 races with Miami most likely replacing Germany. Cool. That's about all I've got. Have you got anything?
Nothing
Your squirrels
whatsoever.
produced anything?
No. Nothing. Everyone's cagey at the moment because of the triple header.
Yep, triple header and the contract negotiations going down within these 3 weekends. So, okay, I think that will be about it. It's been another pretty long one. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you have enjoyed doing it, Rage.
One more thing.
Yeah, go on.
Fantasy Formula 1.
Oh,
And looking on to next week.
keep forgetting about. Oh Christ! I just want to get out of it. Fantasy. I actually changed my team this week.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, the one driver I'm allowed to change. Haven't actually looked yet.
I changed to driver and then he got a DNF.
Perfect.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I changed my turbo
I'm down
driver.
to 9th. Exactly what I didn't want to happen. The two guys that had the team have didn't change it and still stayed ahead of me. Oh, I'm down to 9th.
No!
Oh, you're down to 4th.
I've fallen.
Oh, how
fallen.
the mighty have fallen.
How? What team has he got?
Oh,
Alonso
your
Magnussen.
Your first sub 100 points. Papaya Orange, Connor, 166. Big weekend for Ferrari, Magnussen and Vettel there.
Of course, it was the whole Mercedes, Hamilton DNF, Ricciardo DNF. My turbo driver was Sainz, and he did crap. Gasly also did crap, so Red Bull...
Just rescued by Max, basically.
Yeah, literally, I did awful. So I got
Alonso
overtaken.
didn't do too badly.
Fox even overtook me.
Fox up to 3rd, so we got Mirik up to 2nd with a 197-point week.
183 for Fox.
Huge. Fox with 183, yep. Grosjean, Raikkonen,
197 for Marislav as well.
Yep.
The Maritech F1 team.
Roberto, Pau, 207.
207.
That is knocking it
Raikkonen
out the
turbo
park.
driver. That's why.
Knocking it out of the park. Did Raikkonen... I guess he did go forward a few places. He did well in qualifying, well in the race. That's a lot of points. It's probably because he's probably the best driver for that, because he's probably the only one on the top 6 that's under 20 million. He's the only one you can turbo. So that's a good call. What did I get then? Where am I? Team Dream Cream. I got 130. It's okay. Hulkenberg really hurt me. My turbo driver was Magnussen this weekend. 46 points. 35 for Vettel, but 5 for Sainz, 2 for Ricciardo, and minus 11 for Hulkenberg. That hurt. My old team, we got 146. Fuck. Why did I change? Oh well. Well, it's game on up the top. And we got some work to do, Rage. We have to study the numbers.
Why can't I turbo Raikkonen?
Can you not?
No.
Have you unturboed the other driver? You're going to turbocharge him for Silverstone?
Who else can I turbocharge?
I don't know.
It won't let me turbo the person who I just add in.
Have you saved adding him in?
Maybe not. Let's keep it back on site. Turbo site. Confirm save team. You've exceeded your budget for team selection. Fuck's sake.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not do this now.
No.
Okay, that was Fantasy Formula 1. Predictions for Silverstone. I'm going to go first. I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, Sebastian Vettel. Yourself.
I'm going to go for Lewis Hamilton, Vettel, and Ricciardo.
Okay, we'll see how we get on. We'll also get an update of the overall predictions between me and Rage. Fox keeping a little table, but I don't think he's managed to have time to update it this week, which is fine. We'll look at it every sort of couple of races maybe, and see how we're getting on in those predictions as well. Right, now we must add it up. I hope you guys have enjoyed the race, the podcast, as normal, and the race, I guess, and are enjoying the World Cup. Only happens once a year. I hope your team does well, as long as you're not playing England. In which case, I wish you misery. It's our year. It's coming home, Rage. It's
That's
coming
deep.
home.
It's. I wish you misery.
It's coming home.
Possibly, maybe.
It's coming.
Might be.
When's everyone
Might
keep
not
saying
be.
that everywhere? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Do tune in next week for the 3rd podcast in a row in terms of per weeks. It's been a busy time for the podcast. So yeah, tune in next week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much, Rage, as always, for joining me. And we'll see you again next time.
Auf Wiedersehen.